And I think they've just got to get rid of the body.
Yeah, the body and the face are obviously two big problems with the
Keep the
mod.
teeth, keep the spines, put the rest in the skip. It's Pot 'em Up, episode 13. Unlucky for some, but not for you.
Indeed. No, not for me, and
Oh,
not
well, I
for.
was talking to the listeners
Oh, sorry.
because they get this wonderful show.
Well, yeah, because I can't see you. We're not in the same room. So when you say you, I don't know if you mean
I was sort of
the listener or
looking
me.
in the audience direction.
Oh, okay, okay. Which direction is that?
Left.
Left, and I'm right. Okay,
You're right,
fine.
yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
bear that in mind. Yeah. Cool.
I'm Tibbs,
Yeah, your Tibbs. I'm Ollie.
and together, our powers combined, we are Pot 'em Up.
Indeed, indeed.
So what's up?
What's up? Yeah, not much. Been busy, all sorts of stuff going on, but I have managed to do a little bit of gaming here and there, I suppose. Managed to finish Spider-Man, first of
Oh,
all.
excellent, yeah.
Yeah, very good game. Some really nice final bosses in it at the end, nice sort of ending. Kind of hints that there might be a sequel, which I'd be all for.
I'd be very surprised if there wasn't.
Yeah, I know, it's a really popular game, so I think... but yeah, well deserved. I haven't done any of the extra sort of side missions or anything like that. I haven't really had time, but maybe one day I'll go back to them because they look quite interesting.
I was going to say, are they sort of interesting side missions, or are they sort of Assassin's Creed go pick up 10 million feathers type missions?
There's an awful lot of collectibles and stuff to do, yeah. I think there's a few like proper side sort of missions where you talk to people and then do a sort of like a little story, and there's like DLC and stuff. So yeah, I might look into that at some point.
Oh, cool.
I did find myself, once I finished it, I kind of like, okay, I want to move on to something else, but there was a part of me that kind of still wanted to carry on playing, so yeah, sign of a good game, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
So after that, I moved on to starting Iconoclasts. Really, really nice. It's a 2D pixel art sort of Metroidvania puzzle platformer kind of thing. You play as a character called Robin, who's a mechanic in kind of this kind of world that's been taken over by kind of a religious cult, where you kind of assign roles to all the people rather than letting you pick your own career path. And she's a mechanic; she wants to do mechanicery, but she's not allowed. So yeah, there's kind of a sort of a quite a serious kind of storyline to it. It's kind of juxtaposed with the sort of the visuals and the kind of game that you're playing, but it kind of gets in the way a little bit. But other than that, it's a really, really good kind of platformer, really.
Oh, brilliant.
She's got a large wrench which she can swing at enemies and swing off of things and trigger doors to open and stuff like that. So it's a lot of puzzle mechanics and things. You'll go into an area and there's a locked door, so you have to go on this sort of side route to open the door. Do these various things, and really some really, really good bosses, actually. Some really good, like 16-bit style bosses, very, very sort of energetic, kind of really, really good stuff. So yeah, I'd recommend that. I'm not too far into it. I think it's about a 10-hour game. I think I've done about 3 or 4 hours, but so far really, really good. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
I recommend it. Yeah, and I've got that on physical as well. Limited run one.
Yeah, I've got it on PSN. I think I've got it on PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I'll check that out definitely.
Yeah, I'd recommend it definitely. But for the last week or so, I've been playing Team Sonic Racing.
I was going to ask if you'd pick that up.
Oh yeah, yeah. I actually pre-ordered it from a website called the Game Collection,
Mm.
and that was for the cheapest price I could see it for. It was 25 quid, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah, they do some good
And
prices.
not only that, but it arrived like 3 days early
Oh,
before the
really?
release
Wow.
date. Yeah, I know. It's brilliant. I'm going to pre-order from them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I've
Yeah,
heard
it's
mixed things about it.
okay.
I haven't played it myself yet, so
Hmm.
I can't really weigh in on that side of things. But I've various reviewers whose opinions I tend to put some weight on, and they some of them say good, some of them say no. No one said it's outright bad. I think the worst
No.
I've heard said about it is it's just all right.
Yeah, I think that's a fair opinion. I think it depends what way you look at it, really. Because in one way, it's not as good as Sonic Transformed. I don't think in general.
Mm.
It just doesn't have that kind of. I mean, the Transformed had such good tracks. The course design was amazing. The way some of the laps would change, and take you on different routes after
Yeah.
the first lap. Just like the breadth of like Sega IP and the variety of level themes and stuff doesn't really have that, and obviously the transforming vehicles. But it's still a really fun racer at the end of the day.
Hmm.
Um, it's got obviously it lives and dies by this team mechanic, and for the most part, I think it works really well. Even when you've got AI controlled teammates, they tend to sort of stay with you. You don't find that they lag too far behind. So it's kind of I think they've done a lot of sort of balancing with keeping the AI in touch with you, and it's good fun with a second player as well. I think the way it works is you've got rather than you race individually, you've got teammates of three, so it's you and two others, and obviously the winner is dictated by the overall kind of position that your team gets. So
Yeah.
if you're way out in front of your teammates and far behind, you'll probably lose. So you've got to think about your teammates as well.
And you can
And
sort of give power ups to each other as well, can't
that's
you?
right. Yeah, it's really good because that they've got the good idea of if you give a power up, they will then get three of them.
Oh right, okay.
So rather than one missile, they'll get three. So it really kind of incentivizes. It makes sense to just share all
Mm.
the time, really, to be honest. So yeah, I think for that works pretty well. I mean, compared to sort of previous attempts, say like the Sonic Riders series, for instance, what they did was they introduced a lot of crazy ideas to try and mix it up and make it seem a bit different, but it ended up being like really kind of confusing. I think this isn't that confusing as well. It kind of sits nicely in there, really. It doesn't get in the way, really. You're still kind of racing. You just keep an eye on their positions, that's it, really. Other than that, it's just a standard racing game, but it kind of adds that extra element to it, kind of a strategic element to it, which is it works really well, I think.
Yeah.
Mm.
Have you done much online play with it, or?
I haven't, no,
Okay.
no, just the single player. But yeah, it's got like the previous games, it's got a really good single player kind of option, like the mission based kind of thing.
Hmm.
A lot of variety in the kind of challenges that it gives you. Like you'll have targets to destroy as you go around, and in one case, and like drifting challenges and stuff like that. It's the kind of thing that I wish they do more of in the Mario Kart series, but
Yeah.
this series does it really well.
So is it got like a sort of adventure mode, or is it just like challenges? Is it like a
It's yeah,
like
it's
Crash Team, Diddy Kong kind of adventure mode, or?
not really, no, not in the sense of a hub world. It's
Okay.
basically a series of missions. There are sort of story elements in there, but they're not that common within it, really. It's mostly just a sequence of missions. But it's quite well done.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
quite cheap as well, isn't it? They're
Oh
like
yeah, I mean, as I
full
say, I only
price.
got
It's only like £25.
yeah. I mean, normal price is about 30, I think. So
Mm.
it's more of a budget title, I think. So
Yeah.
it's worth looking into. I'd like a bit more variety in terms of the tracks.
Yeah.
I think there's 21, which is a good amount, but they're only based on like 7 different kind of themes.
Mm.
And even then, some of them are just straight from the previous two games, like the same tracks, which is
Oh
kind of
really?
disappointing, really. Yeah, I know Mario Kart
Ah.
does that, but it's a bit different when you're taking like a SNES track or an N64 track and sprucing it up.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same thing. Um, yeah, so that's a bit disappointing. The music is kind of a mixed bag. There's some nice remixes of established Sonic themes in there. It's even got like Sandopolis from Sonic and Knuckles, which is a really good one. But the more sort of original tracks, they're kind of hit and miss as you go into the game. Some of them are a bit better than others, but early on they're kind of they're sort of quite sort of generic kind of rock, quite forgettable, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe I just haven't heard them enough yet, but yeah, a little bit disappointing there. But in general, it's a good package. I'm having fun with it, and
Yeah.
I'm a little bit hooked on it actually, which is good.
I mean, that's a good sign, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the worst thing about a racing game is when you're sort of stuck out in front with miles ahead of everyone else, or you're really far behind. You just don't see anyone else. That's not the case at all with this game. It's really kind of the races are really really fun because your rivals are constantly sort of behind you, and it's kind of like a push and pull kind of thing. That it's a lot of sort of jeopardy in whether they're going to overtake you or not. And it's the kind of thing where you get hit by a power up and like everyone just sort of whooshes past you, and it's always annoying, but you kind of need it in this kind of game to make it interesting. So it's got that balance really well, I think, so far anyway. So yeah, I'd recommend it. I think it's good.
Yeah.
I think you if you enjoyed Transformed, you have to set your expectations a little bit lower, but it's still, it's made by the same people. It's got the same engine. It's still really good fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Transformed. I really had a lot of fun with that. So
yeah,
I was looking forward to this. Not quite enough to pick it up. Like I said, I didn't have it pre-ordered or anything. I decided to sort of wait it out and see what the verdict and stuff was on it. But I'll probably pick it up. I don't know how soon. I'm not sort of in any rush to get it. I don't think. But
no.
I'll definitely give it a go when the price is right.
Yeah. It's just a fun little racing game. That's all it is, really. I think that's pretty much it from me. What have you been up to?
I've played a few bits and pieces. Work has been a bit Coco Loco, so I haven't had much time to sort of just sit around and play games, unfortunately. I played a bit of... I don't know if I mentioned it last time, because I might have started it last time, but didn't really put much time into it. Oxenfree.
I know the name. I'm
it's
not
like
familiar
an
with the
indie
game.
kind of adventure, 2D side-scrolly adventure game, where these kids go to an island, to this sort of uninhabited island, to have a party on the beach, and they end up opening a portal to a dimension where some entities tend to cross over and cause havoc, and it's sort of about going about solving the mystery of what these entities are and where they've come from and things like that. It's pretty good. I can't say I'd recommend everyone rush out and get it, but if you see it going cheap, it was in a sale recently on the either the eShop or the PlayStation Store, and it's like £10 or something. So it's worth it for that. It's not bad. I think it's about sort of 6 or 7 hours worth of gameplay, and it's quite interesting. This is quite a good little game.
What kind of graphical style is it? Is it pixel art or is it sort of
no, it's not pixel art. It's kind of somewhere between sort of... I'm trying to think of an example of another game that I could point it to. Have you ever seen the Double Fine game Broken Age?
Yes.
It's
another one.
It's kind of similar to that. It's not identical, but if you imagine that kind of thing, you'd be on the right sort of track, I think.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of kind of stylized, cartoony.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. Am I thinking of the right thing?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Sounds interesting. Yeah.
That's pretty good. I picked up the remaster of, I don't know what the correct pronunciation is, Lumines or Luminous for Switch, the sort of music block matching game.
Yeah, I know the one. Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, it's just a remaster of the PSP version, really. Not much new, but it's nice. It's good. Trying to think what else I've been putting the time into. I think most of the other time has just been spent playing our little book club game.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to discuss: the Sonic movie.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Well, there's been some development since our last episode, hasn't there?
Yeah.
I think it was shortly after our last episode.
I think it was just after, yeah.
Yeah, the trailer came out. I'm sure we don't need to add anything that anyone hasn't said already. But yeah, I mean, the main thing though, the surprising thing is that they're they're redoing it, and redoing his character.
Yeah, that is surprising, actually.
Yeah, that's
Is there much they can change, though, given how far it is
well,
into
yeah. This is
development
the
now?
thing.
I mean,
Yeah, I was reading an article from like a VFX specialist who was talking about what it would take to change his to completely remodel him at this stage, and it would.
yeah.
I think most of the effort would actually be going into redesigning the character rather than actually animating him in the scenes, apparently, and that process would take about like 5 or 6 months in itself, apparently.
Okay. Well, they have delayed the release of it now, haven't
They
they?
have, yeah, just a few days ago they announced they delayed it until February,
Mm.
Valentine's Day, I think it was. Which, first of all, that's kind of an odd movie to go on a date movie, don't you think?
Yeah.
Kind of a weird time to release it. But I saw it only a couple of months after it was its original release date, so I don't know. I'm not sure it's adding up yet, but yeah, we'll see. There
Pure,
is a fit.
pure speculation on
John.
my part, but I mean, from interviews with the director and stuff prior to the trailer being released,
Mm.
he did say that Sega weren't entirely happy with the design of Sonic in the movie. He
Yeah,
had to do a bit of convincing, and they still weren't convinced that it was going to work. I wonder if they've got a backup on standby anyway. If part of it
yeah.
was okay, we'll release the trailer, see how it reacts, but if it goes negatively, you know. So if they've done some of the groundwork for it already, do you know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, it's an interesting theory. Yeah, I think there has been theories floating around that this was all kind of set up from the beginning. Do you know what I mean? As a publicity stunt.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know how much I buy
I
that.
think that would be a huge risk to take
Yeah,
personally, but it's kind of worked really because it had everyone talking about it, didn't it?
yeah, it did. To be fair, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, some people say Sonic isn't relevant these days, but the amount of outcry that movie generated,
yeah, I know.
was and it just shows how much people hold the character close to their heart still, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah, so it's a compliment really. But as a big Sonic fan myself, I'm always following like the Sonic news and stuff, and most of it is just stuff that doesn't get reported elsewhere because it's quite specific. And just to see something that is Sonic news and then just goes everywhere, even I think I even heard like on the BBC radio show they were talking about it and like talking to like a Sonic fan about it, and that's just kind of nuts really
It's,
as
yeah, it's
a
kind of
fan.
crazy.
Yeah.
What did you think of the little glimpse we got of Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik?
Um, an interesting take.
I didn't hate it. I thought I'd
No, I
hate it,
didn't.
and I
I
didn't.
didn't hate it. No, I think he'll be pretty good in it. I think he's well cast for it, and
Yeah,
it's kind of a return to his sort of '90s kind of roles, isn't it? Where he's a bit of a zany character.
yeah, definitely. I
Yeah,
was really suspicious about it when they announced Jim Carrey. I was like, really? But when seeing it in action, I kind of get what they were going for, and
you
I
kind of
think
get it. Yeah,
I
yeah,
would say out of the whole trailer, if I were to sum it all up, that was the only bit I came away not really feeling that negative about. I thought, that's actually that could work. I quite like what they're doing with that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's going to be interesting,
Yeah.
but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, in terms of his look, what would you say would be the number one things to change?
The eyes.
Yeah, I totally agree. A
The
lot of
eyes
people,
definitely.
a lot of people say the teeth. I'm not actually that bothered by the teeth personally.
I thought the teeth were a little bit freaky, but I mean, it's not. I think it just looked a bit uncanny with the rest of his face. That was
Yeah,
the thing. I
yeah,
think
I
if they
think so.
had like a Sonic model, similar to the games, those teeth wouldn't have stood out at all. But I think
No,
it's just the whole thing. The teeth didn't really work,
yeah,
and I think they've just got to get rid of the body.
yeah. The body and the face are obviously two big problems with the
Keep the
model.
teeth, keep the spines, put the rest in the skip.
Yeah, I mean, they've got at least on his head, they've got the configuration of his spikes about right.
Yeah,
Obviously, he's got these kind of tiny spikes that it's made up of. I kind of get that because you kind of need some sort of texturing there, and it's obviously integral part of the movie where they find these little spines and stuff. So they're not going to change that, I don't think. But I think the eyes definitely, because you know a character, you know a person from their eyes, and those aren't Sonic's eyes.
no.
So it's very difficult to identify them. They need to get the eyes right, no matter how kind of unusual it looks in the real world. I think it's just got to look. That's just the way it's got to look like. You know, his
Yeah.
eyes are too small and too round at the moment. They've got to be, and the pupils are too round. I mean, you know, the eyes are on Sonic's eyes. Sonic's got huge eyes, and he's got oval shaped pupils. And if he doesn't have those, he's not Sonic.
No, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Since when is his fur been electric as well? What's that about?
I don't know. I suppose it's just the nature of his running really fast in the real world. I suppose that's just the natural consequence.
I
But
suppose.
I don't know.
I suppose. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. And
Not
there's the
convinced.
what was the other thing that bothered me with it as well? Oh, the rings, like turning into little portals and
Yeah,
shoot
what's
people
that about?
about.
That seemed a bit weird, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
I
really
don't know what that's
sure.
about.
Eh.
Although to be fair, the big rings in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, they're portals.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But they go to the special zone, don't they? They don't send you
They
to
do,
like
yeah.
Los Angeles or wherever.
No, no, not any Sonic game I've played. No,
No.
no.
But still, I mean, it could be good. Could be good.
Yeah.
Other Sonic news.
Mm.
Um, have you heard that unreleased music that was discovered from Sonic 2?
Oh yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Um, did I hear? Hang on, did I hear that? Am I thinking of something else? Hang on. Just a little while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, what they released.
Oh yes. I know what you mean. The guy, it was like a lecturer, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah,
And
yeah.
he was playing it. I didn't.
He released like 5 seconds of it, but he's since come out and released a whole track because of how much people were sort of showing interest in it.
Oh, I didn't hear that at all. I
Oh
missed
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. The whole
Yeah,
thing's out
that's
there now.
embarrassing. Me saying I'm on the pulse with Sonic News, really, and you could just come out with one I didn't even hear about. It. Don't know where I was when that came out.
Ah,
I'll
well,
have to
I
track that
recommend
down.
give it a listen then,
Yeah,
and see what you think. It's a really interesting little bit of just sort of development insight into the game, isn't there? Really,
yeah. I mean,
I can't really.
that's.
I have trouble imagining where it would fit within Sonic 2, and
Mm.
what it was originally planned for, and it's interesting.
Okay, I'll give that a listen. Yes, no, I saw the thing where he was, he was doing like a presentation about something, and he kind of unveiled a little snippet of it. Um, yeah, it's always good to hear unreleased music from, especially something that's so well researched as Sonic 2. You know, there's so much kind of material left on the cutting room floor that people have found,
Yeah, definitely.
but not much music other than the famous Hidden Palace
The
one.
Hidden Palace, yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be really interesting to listen to. I'll have to
Yeah.
dig
I
it out.
would
Yeah.
I would say I heard about it on a YouTube channel called Badnik Mechanic. Um,
Okay.
I would recommend anyone check it out. If you're into Sonic, it's a really interesting channel just about sort of Sonic history and things. He did a whole sort of little series of videos on this Sonic the Hedgehog statue that was found in the sort of country woods in Japan, stuck to
Oh
some
yeah,
trees.
I've read about this. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's a really interesting little channel. So if any
Mm.
listeners are sort of into Sonic, Badnik Mechanic,
I'm
highly
going to check that
recommend.
out later. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
Cool. Any other gaming news that we need to discuss?
Um, I don't think I was trying to think about this earlier. I can't think of anything that caught my attention really. Obviously, we've got E3 next month.
Yes.
It sneaks up on you again. Anything you're looking forward to there?
Um, I don't know really. Hopefully we'll find out a bit more about the PS5. I'm quite interested
Yeah,
in
it's
seeing
starting
about
to
that.
get trickles about it. Do you think they'll
Yeah.
full on announce it this E3 or not?
I don't know if they'll full on announce it.
Mm.
I think we'll probably just get a little bit more information sort of leaking out from sort of press briefings and things like that. But it's just really interesting and really reassuring to hear that they're fully supporting physical media on the PS5.
Yeah,
Especially
that's
with
good.
Xbox's move to releasing an Xbox One without a disc drive.
Yeah, the sad.
The
Yeah.
sad.
Mm.
Goodness,
Sad face.
man alive.
Mind you, when you see people releasing like physical games of indie games and stuff, there's never an Xbox One version, is there?
No, this is not funny enough.
I don't know why.
No, there's really not.
I don't know if there's any like licensing issues or something, but there never is. I don't
That's
think
an
I've ever
interesting
seen one.
point.
Yeah. So they've just packed it in completely. I think.
I think there might have been. That rings a bell. Wasn't there some sort of exclusivity thing with Xbox where if people released it on Xbox, they had to make it exclusive to them for a certain amount of time, or I can't
Oh
remember
really?
now. I'm going to have to check this, but I'm sure there was going way back. I'm sure there was. They upset a lot of indie developers by demanding exclusivity to the Xbox platform. Wonder if that might have something to do with it. But
Yeah, maybe.
yeah. So apparently the PlayStation 5 is going to be supporting physical media and streaming as well. So they are throwing their hat into the streaming ring as a as a
Okay.
main method of distribution, which is a little bit. But as long as they
Yeah.
have physical as a
Well,
as an
they're
option.
backing both horses, really, there, aren't they? I think. I mean, I think it's a difficult one, isn't it? I suppose, but I mean, they've kind of got to do it because that seems to be the way everything's heading, especially with Google and everything. So they've got to be
Well, yeah.
competitive.
And they've spent all the money on the streaming technology, so I suppose
Yeah, they might as well use it.
they've
Yeah,
got to use it for something.
yeah. But at least they've got still got the physical media. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really. I think that'll help indie developers continue to, make physical releases, which is really really good.
I mean,
Um,
I said this way back when OnLive was a thing.
yeah.
I think streaming really has a place for demos. Maybe not as
Yeah.
a way of distributing full games and purchasing games, but if you could just play, you could stream the first 30 minutes of any game. You know, I
Yeah.
think that's a really good use for it.
That would work. Yeah.
Yeah,
That would
I'd be
work.
well into that, but
Yeah, because yeah, I mean, I've said before, demos are a great thing. There's really no reason not to release a demo. I don't know why there isn't a demo of everything.
yeah, I
Because
agree.
it's just such an easy way to know if you want to buy the game or not.
Yeah, definitely. And
'Cause-
if you think back in the day when we used to get demo discs, there were demos for all the major releases back
there
then,
were,
and they
yeah,
had to print them on physical media and distribute them. All of that overhead is gone now.
yeah,
Just
exactly. So it's even easier
it's
now. Yeah,
easier than ever.
yeah.
It's just yeah.
I know. I'm just annoyed by the how few games are bothered to make a demo because the amount of times I can't tell you how many games I've bought on the back of enjoying the get demo
Mm,
purely. I didn't know anything about it. I would download the demo, have a good time with it, and buy it.
yeah.
And if they hadn't released a demo, I wouldn't have done it. So
Yeah.
it just boggles me why there isn't a demo of everything. Um,
Oh, just
yeah.
going back, I remember what other game I got. I buckled and bought a hat in time.
But Hang Time.
A hat in time.
Oh, A Hat in Time. Oh, did you?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've only played it for about half an hour, so I can't really give a verdict on it yet. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. I thought I want to play it, and there
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be. I have to Google him for a bit. There's no concrete plans that I could find for a physical release on the horizon, so I thought I'd
Yeah,
just
I
gonna
don't.
get it while it's cheap. And
It's a popular game. I don't know why. I think they will at some point, but I don't know why they're taking the time about it.
well, I mean, there's so many sort of indie publishers out there now,
Mm.
doing limited releases. I'm sure one of them would happily put out a game like that. They know
Oh,
it's going to make
definitely.
money. But
Yeah, I mean they put out the sort of the smallest kind of games,
yeah,
like
yeah,
full on,
really.
limited edition releases, and stuff like that. So yeah, A Hat in Time. Yeah, it looks amazing. I really want to play it, but
Cool.
yeah,
Well, I'm sure there's some really major gaming news or some happening that we're missing here, but I
yeah.
can't think of any. So, shall we move on to our book club?
Yes, finally, we're doing Undertale
We
this
are.
month. We are your choice. It's been your choice for a little while now.
It
It's
has.
come up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's take a break then.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back in a few minutes. Be sure to join us.
Yep.
And yes, Undertale. I think I just before we go to the break,
Mm.
we were when we were arranging what time to record and stuff, and talking about setting up the recording date. I did mention whether we should slacken our rule on spoilers because generally we don't do any spoilers when we talk about the games. But I
Yeah.
think Undertale is one of those games where it's going to be really difficult to discuss it without doing any spoilers of any kind.
Yeah.
So I think we'll try and avoid any huge
I think
story spoilers.
I think most of the story we can edge around for
Yeah.
the most part. I think, but yeah, there's a lot of mechanics in there that sort of come about as you get further into the game, and I would like to talk about them. So
Yeah, I would as well. So I think we should, before we go to the break, we'll just give you a minor a spoiler warning.
a spoiler
A
warning.
spoiler warning. We'll give you a spoiler warning. It's only going to be minor things. Nothing that should spoil your enjoyment of the game.
No.
But yeah, just tread carefully from this point onwards.
Mm. Okay.
We'll be back after this.
Bye.
Bye. And we're back, and our book club pick is what we're discussing now. This month's choice was Undertale. It's an RPG made by, almost entirely made by one guy, Toby Fox.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, I played it a little while ago, and it just clicked with me straight away. I really, all the time I was playing it, I said it on the last show as well, it really struck me as, if there was such a thing as a pod-em-up game, I think this would be a pod-em-up game.
Yeah.
So I was quite eager for Ollie to play it. So having now played it, what did you think?
I thought it was brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I thought it was, very entertaining, right to the very end, I think. It's just, it's an RPG that really tries to shake up the rule book, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It really plays with your expectations of what an RPG, is.
Yeah, and it's really funny as well. It's just full of humour, and full of great characters, and really touching as well.
Definitely.
And, really kind of emotional at points. I was surprised by that, really. I really didn't know much about it going in, partly because of your recommendation not to look up too much about it. And in a way, it's a shame that we're doing this podcast about it, because really the best way of experiencing this game is to go in as fresh as possible.
It really is. In fact, I would say if anyone is curious, because this is a podcast, it's not live, go play it, and then come back, and you can listen to us discuss it then.
It kind of is better to do it that way. So in a way, maybe we should fill it with spoilers with the whole game, but no,
We'll try not to. We'll take it easy, and we'll just see how it progresses naturally. If we veer into spoiler territory, we'll give people a warning. But
as we said, I think we can avoid kind of most story spoilers, because I mean, to be fair, as we'll get into at the moment, there's still bits of it that I haven't. Although I have completed it, it became apparent to me afterwards that there was more to the story than what I'd covered.
Yeah, definitely.
So to be fair, there's still some things that I don't want spoiled for me as well. So it's an awkward position. Well, not an awkward position, but a difficult position to be in. But we'll soldier through. Yeah.
So basically, you play a character who has fallen into the world of monsters. There's two worlds, where the world where the humans live, and an underworld where all the monsters have been banished to. And you found your way into there, and you want to get out. Basically, that's how the story's set up.
Yeah. We don't really know much about the character. Is it a girl? Is it supposed to be a girl?
I don't think it's ever established.
No, I don't think it is. It kind of looks. She's got kind of a girl's haircut,
Yeah.
I would say, but yeah, whether it is a girl or not, or whether that's just the haircut of that civilization of humans, I don't know. But yeah,
No.
I thought of it as a girl. But we don't, other than that, we don't know anything about the character really, other than that they've stumbled into this kind of underworld,
And
basically.
you are greeted in the underworld by Flowey, the flower.
Yeah, who is not as he first appears, to say the least.
So I think that's. Did you fall? Or how did? Not did you fall for it, but how did your first encounter with Flowey go?
A little bit terrifying, to be honest. Whenever I encountered the character, I was mildly terrified, especially later on.
Did you fall for his love pellets?
I I did, yeah. Yeah, so basically he's a little flower who welcomes you in, and I can't remember what he says now, to be honest, but yeah, he kind of seems like he's kind of the lovable tutorial character. But then he turns out to be pretty much the most evil character I've ever seen
Yeah.
in my life ever, I think. And he attempts to kill you, and you're saved by.
He fires little bullets at you, but he tells them that you have to collect them because they're love pellets.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, that's that old trick. Yeah, but yeah, you're saved by a sort of a motherly character. What was her name? I've forgotten.
Toriel.
Toriel. That's
I
right.
think
Yeah.
she's a goat, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I thought she was sort of a large rabbit kind of character.
Could be a rabbit.
Yeah, I mean they're all kind of monsters. They all kind of look like kind of creatures, but they're sort of yeah, kind of monstery kind of people. And she's kind of your tutorial character for the early part of the game, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to say the art style is an interesting choice, isn't it?
It is.
Because
Yeah.
it's a pixel art. It's very what's the word? I don't know. Not great. Do you know what I mean? Like it's almost sort of it's kind of deliberately kind of
Lo-fi.
lo-fi. Yeah, very. Basically, if I were to make a game and do the pixel art, it'd be kind of look kind of like this.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I'm okay. I'm not a great pixel artist. So, but I don't know if that's down to the Toby Fox's capabilities or if it's deliberate.
I think
'Cause-
it's definitely a deliberate
Yeah, I
style
think so.
choice.
Yeah, because it's almost like he's drawn a sprite in about 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be fair, I mean, because I like it. I think it works with the game, and I think if it looked any better, it would look wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
do you know
Yeah,
what
if
I mean?
if it was if you sort of scaled it up to sort of 16-bit Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger type sprites and that level of artwork, I think it would lose something from that. I think
I
the
think
sort
it
of
would,
a
yeah.
charm and its simplicity.
Yes, as soon as you see it, you immediately know that this is a game that, well, in a way, it does take itself seriously, but it's very kind of humorous.
Yeah.
I read on Wikipedia that one of his inspirations of all things was Mr. Bean. Did you read?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, there's quite a lot on Wikipedia. It's quite good because it sort of goes through a lot of ideas about Toby doesn't like this kind of idea, so he does this. He doesn't like these kind of things that you normally see in RPGs, so he kind of subverts it and all this kind of thing. And it lists some of his inspirations. I can't remember the games that he was inspired by, but one of them was Mr. Bean, the TV show, the British TV show. Which is I can kind of see it, not directly, but kind of it's got that kind of element of kind of almost British humour to it,
I guess
like
it does.
self-deprecating kind of.
Yeah, I was going to say there's one particular sort of goofy, incompetent character who does
Yeah.
he is quite Mr. Beanish thinking about it.
Yes, yeah, he is, yeah, yeah. So I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
It's just quite an interesting thing because you don't often see Mr. Bean pop up in reference to gaming
Anything.
inspirations, do you? In anything, yeah, exactly. It's quite odd. But yeah, so the game kind of sets out its style very early on, and kind of its sort of level of humour as well, I think.
I think it's not. It doesn't go into spoiler territory to say this because this is something that's mentioned on the actual Steam store page, and all the sort of places you buy it is in the description.
Hmm.
Nobody has to die in Undertale.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
so
funny. Go on.
yeah, so you don't actually have, when the battles occur, you don't have to kill anyone, and depending on how you approach the battles, whether you kill people or whether you don't kill people, will really significantly alter the course of the story.
Yes, I didn't get this to to begin with,
I
or
was
indeed
hoping you
or
wouldn't.
indeed to end with, because I mean, it tells you early on. Toriel explains that I think she explains that you shouldn't kill them. You should like talk to them and show them mercy and stuff.
Yeah,
And when you're battling, you have I think it's four options, isn't it? It's fight, act, which is like usually like talk to them, and then your items, and then mercy.
yeah.
So if you do mercy, I think do you have to beat them down a bit first before you can do
Depending
mercy
on
usually?
depending on the characters, usually you have to weaken them a bit before you'll be able to
Yeah.
use
So
mercy on them.
you have to engage in combat, but you don't have to finish them off if they're weakened. A bit kind of I guess it's a bit like Pokemon where you kind of got to weaken them and then throw a Pokeball to capture them. I suppose it's
Actually, no, I don't think you always have to attack them. I think you can just talk your way out of it.
okay.
I think
Yeah.
you can. I think it is possible to do it without actually attacking.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny because you said it was made clear on all the Steam pages and everything about this, and they introduced the concepts early on. Toriel talks about it, but I didn't really take that seriously. I I just kind of I thought that went along with the kind of subversive kind of humor that it was going for. Oh yeah, you don't have to attack them. It's like, oh yeah, okay, fair enough, and then just kind of continued to like beat the hell out of everyone basically, without even realizing that it was kind of a viable thing to do. Like obviously, I knew that those options were there, but I thought they were kind of just I don't know. I just thought that.
Oh,
Well, I certainly didn't realize it would change the course of the game as much as it does.
did you kill
So
Toriel?
I didn't kill Toriel. No,
Oh, good.
no, I didn't. I didn't stoop that. Certain boss characters that you kind of build a rapport with before you actually fight them. I don't think I necessarily killed them all.
I don't know if we could have been friends if you
No,
did.
no. I don't know. I kind of feel like although Toby Fox created this to be a different kind of RPG where you don't have to kill everyone, and that's kind of the point.
Hmm.
I feel like he kind of wanted you to go through killing people first and then maybe play it again without doing it, which is probably exactly what I'm going to do because I played through this game the whole way first.
Definitely. I
By
mean, yeah. The story. If you don't do it both ways, then
mm,
you don't get the full. There's aspects of the story that you can only get by doing it a certain way, and there's
yeah,
other aspects that you only get by doing it the other way. So to get the
yeah,
full experience, yeah, he definitely wanted you to do each way. I think.
yeah, I think so. And I've done it the first way, which is kill everything, and I think at some point I'm definitely going to play this again and do it the way he intended. Um, to see because I've got because I don't want to go too far into the ending. I don't want to talk about it, but the ending that I got felt inconclusive to me, and I thought there's got to be more to this game. And I looked up a bit, and I kind of got a sense from some YouTube videos that there was obviously a lot more scenes that you could get by doing it the other way. So I'm going to go and do that at some
Yeah.
point. I think definitely. So yeah, that that alone is a very interesting kind of concept. I know RPGs often do like multiple endings and different things like that, but I don't know this one. Yeah, I think I mean, you get the. I say there's a lot of humor in it, but there's a lot of touching elements as well, and you get quite attached to some of these characters.
You do, yeah.
Um, and yeah, to want it makes you want to go and get that proper ending. I
Yeah,
think
definitely. Because I mean, the two ways there's three ways that are accepted of playing it, which is the neutral run where you attack some people, spare others. There's a pacifist run where you don't kill anyone, and then there's the genocide run where you kill everything.
Right.
Um,
I definitely
and
didn't kill everything,
you
so I
must,
guess I'm technically neutral.
yeah, you must have got the neutral
So
then.
you literally have to spare everyone to get the pacifist and kill everyone to get the genocide. Is that right?
To get pacifist, to get the true pacifist ending, you have to spare everyone, and then you have to reload your save, and you unlock a few extra scenes, and then you get the true ending.
Right, I see.
So you do have to go sort of back and forward and do a few things, but there's
Yeah.
some characters will only tell you what's going on from their point of view on the genocide run. There's one particular fight. I don't know if you would have encountered it on the neutral run, because I can't remember. But there's to really understand what's going on and why certain characters act the way they do. You only find out on the genocide run. But the thing is, once you've got attached to these characters, the very idea of doing a genocide run and just killing
Yeah.
them all is just really uncomfortable.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Yes, it is a bit uncomfortable, yeah. Perhaps do that first. But even then, you're getting... I don't know if I could kill some of these characters. Yeah, I mean, we should say, obviously, we're talking about multiple playthroughs here. We're not talking about the average length of an RPG, which is about 40 hours. This is about a 6-7 hour game.
It's about 6 or 7 hours, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think, if you wanted to see it, even if you played through it like 3 times, yeah, it's nowhere near the length of a full RPG.
Yeah, and that was refreshing for me because, I find a lot of RPGs sort of outstay their welcome a bit
Yeah.
at that kind of length. There's a lot that they could have cut out, and I wouldn't be too bothered about it. So this definitely doesn't outstay its welcome. I think, it's a really good length for an RPG actually.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish there was more shorter RPGs like this.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, it tells a really good story.
Yeah.
There's some side bits and pieces to get into if you want to, but it doesn't waste your time. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't at all.
There's no busy work in there. There's no fetch quests just to pad out the length.
There's no grinding either.
No, there's not at all.
Yeah.
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 So speaking of characters,
Yeah.
who was your favourite character? Because I've got an idea who I think it might be, but I'd be interested to see if I was right.
Early on, I had one particular favourite character.
Was it Papyrus?
Yeah.
Haha.
That was initially my favourite. Well, let's talk about him first.
Okay.
And Sans, because they're two brothers, aren't they? Two
Yeah.
skeleton brothers. Sans is he pops up quite a lot in the game. And he's quite a sort of a laid back kind of younger. Is he the younger brother? He's shorter.
I think he strikes me as a younger brother. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he loves playing jokes on his older brother, who takes things a lot more seriously than he does. And he kind of guides you a lot of the time, but his older brother Papyrus is he's great because he wants to try and capture you basically. In order to prove his worth as in the royal guard, to show you to the king, basically, which is part of the story, but we won't go too far into that, I don't think. And he's kind of useless in a very endearing way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it kind of goes along with the RPG tropes that this game kind of sends up, because he constantly wants to throw like puzzle rooms at you. And they all kind of fail for various different reasons. My favourite one is where you just go into a room and he's left a printed out sheet in the middle of the room and it's just got a child's word search in it. I thought that was so good.
Yeah, it's great.
You don't even actually have to do it either. You just pick it up. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
And there's the other one where it was there's loads of coloured panels on the floor, and they all do different things, and it all just gets ridiculously complicated. Like if you go to the green one, a monster appears. If you go to the red one, you go back a few squares, and there's like about 20 different colours, and it just completely fails as soon as you step on it, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, the machine breaks.
Yeah, the machine breaks.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and you do fight him, and yeah, you can if you spare him, you're then his friend, and you get to go to his bedroom where he's got a race car bed.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
But yeah, to sort of, because obviously you can't. We're talking about him, and if you haven't seen him, he's basically a sort of a tall, kind of imposing, kind of skeleton-looking kind of guy in this sort of suit of armor. So it's great to have that kind of intimidating look assigned to such a sort of a bumbling kind of character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they contrast really well as well. Like
yeah,
the dynamic between Papyrus and Sans.
yeah.
Sans is just so laid back. It's just like really go with the flow. Nothing seems to. He's not fussed about anything really. He just sort of takes it all in his stride.
Mm.
And Papyrus is all uptight and worked up but incompetent, and they're just really well-rounded
It's
characters,
a
aren't
great
they?
double act, isn't it? It's a great sort
Yeah,
of brotherly relationship that they have as well. Is they sort of they don't get on, but you kind of tell that they're together. As in
yeah,
they mean something to each other.
yeah,
Yeah, so they're
definitely.
great characters. But as you progress further into the game, you find a character that I liked. Yeah, I think I liked even more, and that is Metaton,
I knew it. I knew it.
the robot that was initially made for entertainment, but then becomes completely deranged. And you fight him in a series of kind of TV-based scenarios.
Yeah,
First of all, it's a battle, which is basically a quiz show in which he asks you impossible questions, and your health keeps depleting. And then it's a cookery
the cookery
show,
show.
isn't it? A cookery show in which he gets you to he wants to cook you, but then he's convinced that it would be better to get human soul substitute meat for vegan friendly substitute human meat, basically,
Yeah,
and you have to go and get that for him. And yeah, it's hard to describe but I think it's just his dialogue. He's brilliant because he takes himself seriously as a kind of a
yeah,
quiz show host and a kind of a TV person, and then I don't know, he's just completely deranged, basically.
yeah. He's just really evil,
Yeah,
and he just loves being evil. he
yeah,
just he just takes great delight in being evil.
that's right. Yeah, he's obsessed with things like ratings and stuff, and it's just so so weird to just have this character in the context of an RPG.
Yeah,
Again, it constantly kind of sends up the genre, really, doesn't it?
yeah, it does. There's a really neat little parody of a famous scene in Final Fantasy VI. There's a opera scene in Final Fantasy VI,
Oh right.
and there's a scene in with Metaton where he's singing and dancing around you, and it's a complete send up of that scene in Final Fantasy VI, and it's glorious. I love it.
Oh right. Okay. I'm not familiar. I haven't played Final Fantasy VI. I'm not familiar with that, but yeah, I know the scene you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew it. I think Metaton's probably my favourite character. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. He's brilliant. Yeah.
And I like his because he's got two forms throughout the game.
He does. Yeah.
He changes his sort of appearance in the second half. I kind of like him when he's just like an oven on wheels. That's
Yes.
his original form. That's my favourite little form of Metaton. I think
Yeah.
he's just great.
Yeah. I tell you what, that boss battle was really good though. The
Oh,
last one.
it's so good.
We need to talk about the fighting mechanic, unless you want to talk about any other
Yes.
characters first. But if you
No,
want to do
no,
that
no,
first,
no. So let's go on to the mechanics.
yeah, because the fighting mechanics is brilliant. I thought it was so kind of refreshing to have an
Mm.
RPG that is like this because it's almost I don't know, basically you've got an attack and a defense, and well, your attack is you don't have to worry about like elemental powers or anything like that. It's basically just a moving stick, and you have to hit it at the right time to get a certain amount of attack.
Hmm.
I think it's just kind of a shortening of that because a lot of these different attacks in RPGs are just basically just sort of get a sort of a random amount from them, and it just kind of shortens that whole thing just to be a very simple kind of touch at the right moment kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then when the enemy attacks you, it becomes kind of almost like a bullet hell kind of test of evasion of
Yeah,
their
I was
various
worried
attacks.
because I know we were talking about bullet hell shooters before, and you were
Yeah.
saying how I think we both said how we just don't really get on with them. So I was a bit concerned like that might put you off a bit, but I think
It
it does
didn't.
it really well in this game.
It does it better than most bullet hell shooters do, I would say, because it doesn't completely overwhelm you, and
Mm.
you don't have to. Basically, each time you get hit by something in this mode, you only lose a little bit of health. You don't lose like the whole thing, so it's not impossible, and you get better and better at avoiding these different attacks. Basically, the battle system the battle screen is all kind of black and white. You see your character is kind of like this sort of very basic black and white kind of thing, and your defense areas takes place in a little box, and you've got a little heart that you can move around freely within this box. And then when they attack, various kind of particles or patterns or shapes will appear inside this box. And if you get hit by them, then you lose a little bit of health. And the variety of stuff that they throw at you from boss to boss and enemy to enemy, it was just brilliant, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many kind of crazy ideas that they put in there, really, really funny ones quite often. And it's constantly kind of giving you new stuff and new ideas coming in. They really kind of push the boundaries of what you would expect to be able to do in this sort of, quite limited little area, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant.
A lot of games, I think, a lot of RPGs, you can sometimes think, I just want to get to the next part of the story, and you're constantly being stopped by the battles and things like that.
Yeah, but they can be a hindrance. Yeah,
it can be a hindrance. But with this, you never really quite know what the next battle's going to hold. So it doesn't really. When you get sucked into like a random battle, you think, okay, I'm not that fussed about this. I want to see what's coming up.
Yeah, because the random sort of little enemies you encounter are quite humorous as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
And yeah, it takes things that are normally quite tedious in an RPG and makes them much, much more interesting, I think, as a general rule of thumb for this game. Yeah, I just at one point in a later boss, you actually can fire back as well.
Yes.
It becomes more of a shoot 'em up kind of thing, and that was really, really good as well. They got some really good ideas in that. And yeah, that was one of my favourite parts of the game, really, that kind of battle mode. And kind of dodging things,
because it tweaks it according to like what character you're fighting and things like that. Like you mentioned Metaton and his obsession with ratings. You that becomes part of the battle when you fight him. The audience ratings and how they're dropping or raising will affect how the battle goes and whether you're winning or losing. And everything is so. I don't know. It's not just a generic battle that they just drop a different character sprite into. Every battle is tailored to the character that you're facing.
That's right. Yeah.
It's really, really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, like the types of particles that you get and the types of objects that you get are related to the character that you're seeing, and they will even like comment on them at times as well. Like that when you fight Papyrus, he talks about a special attack that he's going to use. And there's a little dog that steals it, basically, isn't it? He just runs off with his attack. He says, "Okay, I'll just do 4 regular attacks." It's just that sort of self-referential kind of thing where it's brilliant. The whole package is just so sort of consistent. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all, you can tell that it's one very, very well thought out idea behind the whole thing. And it just all of these different things fit together like a big jigsaw puzzle, and it's perfect. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. It's amazing that it's been done by. I mean, I know it wasn't just Toby Fox. I know some Temi Chang who helped him with some of the sprites, and in the credits there's more people who helped him with it. But it really was a labour of love by Toby, I believe, and it's just amazing that. For a first major game, because I know he's got a background in sort of doing ROM hacks and RPG Maker type games.
That's right.
But for a first sort of major game that he's put out, it's just a phenomenal achievement, I think.
Yeah, it is. I think being a one-man band, I think you're more likely to get that kind of complete package in a way, because if you're across everything, then all these ingredients and how they fit together. Whereas if you've got multiple people with multiple opinions, it can be a bit diluted. So you can kind of see the difference when it is a one-man band, because sometimes the game just kind of makes more sense as a whole. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's one other awesome thing about this game that we haven't talked about, and that's the music.
Oh.
This has one of the best soundtracks I've heard in the last 10 years.
I absolutely agree. It's just astonishing.
It is phenomenal, especially the boss battle music. Oh, it is fantastic. And again, he composed it all, as well as doing all the programming and all the sprites and everything, or most of the sprites. He's composed the music as well, and it's really bloody good.
I know. And the thing is, one of the best songs in the game, you can't actually hear unless you do the genocide run, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, I know the one you mean. I haven't heard it yet because I'm kind
Yeah.
of I want to keep it for myself.
Oh, it's so good. It's so
Yeah,
so good.
yeah, yeah. It's a phenomenal soundtrack. It's just like hit after hit after hit, basically.
Yeah,
And yeah,
there's not a bad tune in the bunch,
not really,
and
no, no.
all the character themes suit the characters.
Yeah,
They reflect their personalities. They're catchy.
yeah, very
It's
catchy.
it covers there's sort of orchestral things. There's
Mm,
chip tunes. It's just a full package.
yeah,
I'm really going to struggle to pick some with the best songs to use in the show, I think.
yeah. I think so. Yeah, I think we'll have a yeah. There's so many good ones. Yeah, I've got a few favorites in mind, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll just to try and put them all over the place.
Yeah.
Put one here. Why can't every game have a soundtrack as good as this?
I know.
Because catchy is a lot of is missing in a lot of games these days. There's
Mm.
a lot to be said for a great catchy tune that's really memorable, and a lot
Yeah.
of game music these days, as much as it will fit the mood really well with the game and everything, a lot of it isn't memorable. And this stuff is so kind of memorable, gets in your head,
Yeah.
and it's and instantly lovable as well. You can get in a boss battle, and this music will be pumping in, and you're immediately into it, and it just makes such a difference to the whole
Yeah.
thing. It makes it so much more enjoyable.
There's one battle in particular, um, where you're used to the boss battle music, and the general theme of the music,
Mm.
and there's one battle where you fight a dog,
Yeah,
and the music that comes on just made me absolutely burst out in hysterics. I just think it's just this little dog, and the music is so fitting for this little character.
I'm struggling to remember it. It's quite early on, isn't it?
Yeah.
The dog area. Yeah, I can't quite remember it, but yeah,
Oh.
I'm sure I reacted in the same way. The thing is, there's so many funny things in this game that it's tough to remember them all. Actually,
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to go through any just funny bits that happened in it that you can. I've got a couple written down that I wanted to talk about.
Let's hear yours.
Okay. Sorry, 1 second. I've got so many notes here that I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, the Thunder Snail minigame.
I was going to say Thunder Snail.
This is a great kind of send up of these kind of little mini games you get in RPGs. Basically, there's a little race between some snails, and you can like sort of encourage one along, and it's going really slow anyway. And you're supposed to tap the button, and the more you tap it, the faster it's supposed to get. But it actually just stops dead, and if you keep tapping, it just bursts into flame. And it's because you put too much pressure on
You
it.
put too much pressure on it.
And then that's it. The game ends. I think you have to pay to play it as well, don't you?
I think you do. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just that's brilliant. That's so funny. And there's another one. At one point, I managed to get a pot of instant noodles
Okay.
because you get food is your kind of health regenerating basically. So if you're in the middle of a battle and your health is low, you can go to your inventory and eat some food, and that will top up your health for a certain amount. And if you do it during a battle with the instant noodles, the whole battle stops, and this sequence of text would explain the whole process of like boiling the instant noodles and kind of waiting for it, and say they're still boiling. And
I don't think
and it takes about a full.
that.
I think I can't remember where I picked them up, but it takes like a full minute, and then you just get 8 health points at the end. Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, I like the little bit. There's a I can't remember what section of the game it's in. There's a path between 2 different areas, and it's there's like a river that blocks the way.
Yeah.
And there's a little bird that will carry you across.
Yeah.
And he picks you up and carries you across really slowly, while this really sort of dramatic, enthusiastic music plays.
This sort of triumphant music plays, and he's going like 1 pixel a second or something. Yeah, it's full of them. It really is. It's just like from like one little one-liners. It's full of humor. It's I can't see how you wouldn't like this game, to be honest.
No,
how anyone wouldn't like this game. It's just, I think it's got, even if you don't like RPGs, because it's not really like a normal RPG, And if you do like RPGs, you'll really get like the references and what it's kind of, making fun of, in a way. So, yeah, it's just a great game.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Definitely.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I want to. Yes, but I'm worried about spoilers here, because I want to know, like, your certain encounters, whether you had them.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we could record that bit if you want and carry on. If anyone's played it, they could be involved in that as well. But I don't know, because we talked about this with Ghost Trick.
Yeah, it's the same thing, isn't it?
And we didn't really want to do that because in case someone accidentally listens to it, and we were going to ruining it.
Yeah.
So I think maybe the same applies here. I don't.
Yeah, I think so. It's not. I think it's a game that people really need to enjoy, and I wouldn't want to spoil any of the sort of the big moments for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you gone on and played Deltarune?
No, I haven't. No, I will do.
It's essential. Yeah.
This is his next game, basically, isn't it?
It's a weird one. Yeah, it's his next game. Apparently, it's not a sequel or a prequel, but it's. I don't know if it's set in the same world or the same universe, but a lot of the characters from Undertale appear again in Deltarune.
Okay.
But they're in it's all like it's like a different kind of context. It's almost like an alternate universe, but
oh right, okay.
It's weird. Knowing Toby Fox based on Undertale, it's not going to be what it seems. It's obviously setting up for something, something bigger. But it's a really good time, and there's lots of little tweaks and changes to the mechanics and the formula of Undertale that I didn't realise need making, but then once he'd done them, it just feels so perfect. I can't recommend it enough.
So this is chapter 1 that's out at the moment. That's
chapter
free,
1,
isn't it?
It's completely free.
How long is it? How long is it out of interest?
It's only about a couple of hours.
Okay.
It's only about 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
You have to play Undertale before playing Deltarune. Don't just jump in on Deltarune because it's free. Definitely play Undertale first.
Yeah.
But yeah, Deltarune is essential. I can't wait to see what he does with the game going forward.
Yeah. It's only about £10 Undertale as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's cheap as chips.
We didn't. Yeah. And I got it for like £2 or something, which is crazy.
Oh, still.
Yeah. So yeah, there's really no reason not to play Undertale. I think they do. I did notice that they do mention Deltarune at one point in Undertale. They mentioned the word Deltarune. The
Deltarune is that sort of Triforce type symbol that pops up from time to time in the game. That is the Deltarune.
Okay. So yeah, there's a link there.
There's definitely a link. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. Again, as well as playing this again, I'm going to play that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, can't. I think we're unanimous here. Can't recommend it enough. I think it's going to be the one to beat in the annual Pod 'em Up Awards at
I
the end of
think
the
it
year. I think
is.
it's
Yeah, I really think it is. It's gonna take a lot to beat that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I think it's funny you mentioned Ghost Trick. Although they're completely different games,
yeah,
and they tackle things in a different way. I think the spirit of them and
yeah.
the kind of atmosphere that I get from them, they're very similar in my head in terms of their attitude, I think.
Yes, it is. When you try and analyse it, they really aren't that similar, but they are in a general sense in how you feel about playing them. The kind of emotions that you get from
Yes.
playing them, both of them, I think, are quite very similar.
Yeah, that's it. It's the emotions. It's the fact that, you actually you really care about these characters that you
Yeah,
encounter.
yeah, yeah,
And it's so inventive with the way it handles things. And oh, there's one thing I think we should mention.
yeah.
That final boss.
Oh God, yeah. I don't. But let's not go into it. But oh, Jesus Christ.
Genuinely did a bit disturbing in there.
Yeah, it. Yeah, I mean, brace yourself for the final boss because it
Yeah.
is.
It comes
It.
complete out of left field as well. It's like
Yeah,
you're not expecting anything like that to happen, and then it
yeah,
comes across, and it's like, what is this? How am I supposed to fight this?
yeah, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying.
I remember you messaged me on Twitter, you DM'd me
Yeah.
and said, "Oh, I'm at the final boss now, so we should be able to record soon." I was like, "He's." I don't think you are, because you'd have
Yeah.
mentioned something
Yeah.
really at the final boss.
I wouldn't have just said I'm at the final boss. Yeah, yeah, and then it turns out I wasn't at the final boss, and then I was, and then I was, yeah, not
Never sleep again.
not comfortable. Yeah,
Cool.
but yeah, so
So
there's
yeah,
that as well.
like you say, I think we're both in agreement. It's brilliant, and you should buy it.
Yeah, tenner well spent.
We didn't get any comments on this one, oddly. I thought we did.
Oh, did we
Given
not? I
how
thought.
popular the game is, I really thought we'd get a little bit of feedback on this.
Ah,
But
weren't you in conversation with some people about it?
I put out a few feelers. But yeah, no one's
Yeah.
really come back to me with anything. So
Yeah, it's a shame.
probably too busy playing it.
I expect so. Yeah, I mean, it does have a huge fan base. This,
Oh, it does,
as I
yeah.
understand it. It's funny because I had heard of it a couple of times, but I wasn't really aware, much about the game at all and anything about its fan base really before playing it and before you sort of talking about it. So, yeah, but they're out there.
Yeah, it's very cult following to the game. I think it's
Yeah, yeah,
very passionate fan base.
yeah. I don't think we mentioned what platforms it was on either.
It's on pretty much everything.
It's on, yeah, every current thing. So it's on.
PS4, Xbox, Switch, Vita,
That's right, and PC,
PC.
Linux as well, and OS X.
Yeah. I mean, there's if you've got anything remotely current gen, then you'll be able to play it.
Yeah.
The PC version, any PC will play it. I don't think you don't need a powerful PC or anything.
It's
So,
it's a very simple visual game. I think you'll be fine. Don't worry
yeah.
about that. Yeah.
So, that brings us on to your choice for the next game we're going to play.
Yeah, well, it's a very tough act to follow.
Oh, no
But I'm
doubt.
going for something pretty different genre anyway.
Okay.
This belongs to the underrated on rail shooter genre, and I don't mean
Okay.
the kind of Virtua Cop style. I mean the sort of Star Fox Panzer Dragoon style, which is a genre that I've really gotten well into in the last few years. This is Sin and Punishment, the successor to the Skies for the Wii.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, also called
Yes.
Star Successor in America. Yeah, I bought this I think about 2 or 3 years ago, and I got really into it. And then for one reason or another, Alice was born, stuff like that, little things like that, kind of stopped me from stopped me from playing more of it. But I really liked it, and ever since then I've been meaning to get back to it. So this is a perfect opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the Wii, so it uses the old motion controls to point where you're shooting, which I think works really well. And yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I really want to finish it. So yeah, that's going to be my pick for the next month. Sin and
Sounds
Punishment,
good.
successor of the
I won't
Skies.
spoil my thoughts on it, but I'm looking forward to playing this one as well. So
Okay.
I think
Do
that's a
you
really good choice.
do you have it? Do you need
Yes.
to acquire it? Ah, excellent. Okay, it's not an expensive game. I think I've got it for about £7 or something.
Oh yeah, it's really cheap.
Yeah.
It's well worth picking up. Well, again, I'm spoiling my hand, but yeah, I think but it'll be a good episode. I think that's going to
Yeah,
be good
yeah.
fun to revisit.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Okay. Our first Wii game.
Yeah, it's our first Wii game.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's quite surprising actually. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Excellent.
Right. Okay. Well, let's draw the show to a close then.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to tell everyone about the new exclusive website?
Da, 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 da. Podemup.net is our new website.
It's
I finally
amazing.
finished off theming it. Yeah, it's just got all the episodes on it basically.
Yeah, it's got all the
Um,
episodes on.
yeah.
It's
I
just
want
a
to do
good little central hub.
yeah, I want to do some things with it. I don't know what, but some nice stuff. We could put stuff on, while we're playing. Maybe some I don't know videos of the games or stuff.
I was going to say we could do little videos, little blog posts, any sort of
Yeah.
thoughts or ramblings or stuff. We could do all sorts of stuff with it.
Yeah. It's just a nice sort of central hub because we kind of have one with our host Libsyn that's kind of there, and we link to it on Twitter. But this is kind of a nice, more sort of themed one for us that we can do more with. So yeah, you
Yeah.
can. I want to be able to sort of browse the episodes by kind of platform and genre as well that we cover in the book club. So yeah, that kind of thing. Pretty good.
Yeah. We could put a little thing on there where people can suggest book club picks as well, couldn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We haven't had any suggestions yet, but
No, we haven't. No.
yeah. If you have one, if there's anything you're dying for us to play, please do get in touch. Leave it
Yeah,
on the
definitely.
website somewhere. There's comments all over the place, so you can do that, or you can email us podemup@gmail.com.
Yeah. Or Twitter @Podemup.
That's right. That's the one. Yeah, that ties everything up, really. I think.
Does ties it up in a neat little box, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we shall see you again this time next month, give or take a week or
Yeah.
two. I don't know. We don't have a set schedule. It's fine.
It's
Podcasts will
fine.
download automatically. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll pop in probably towards the end of the month, I expect.
Yeah, that's usually the plan.
Yep. Okay.
I hope you have a nice day and take care and goodbye.
Goodbye.